Today we are finally taking care of our rodent problem at our off-grid property in New Mexico. It's been a huge issue for the last year, but it's gotten a lot worse in the past 2 months since we've been back. So today it's time to stop messing around and just deal with it. We've been trying to coexist with these rodents for a year now, and it's just not working. Their houses are creeping closer and closer to our house. They've made a house in our ridge vent. I can clearly see it from the ground now, and we can hear them in the ceiling starting like a couple of weeks ago. Originally, we were just kind of trying to prevent them from getting into our cars.
It does seem that the population of pack rats and rodents has been multiplying and getting worse exponentially over the time that we've been here. The previous owner, she was getting into her 80s and she stopped maintaining the property as diligently towards the later years. She had actually hired an extermination service that had come out here, but they hadn't come for a couple of years before she sold the property. So it's kind of just, like this issue has just been getting worse and worse, and we've kind of just left the pack rats and then the mice that come along with it to just be completely unchecked. And we wake up at night, guys, and we can hear these things like chewing through the walls, and you can hear them like crawling through the ceiling.
Sound will drive you crazy in the middle of the night.
We've fortunately never seen anything inside the tiny house or
in the cabin.
Or in the cabin.
Not one.
No signs of like droppings or anything like that. But we can hear them in the ceiling. We know that they're starting to get close. So it's time to start taking care of this
before one of
problem.
them pops through the ceiling.
Right.
Now we are concerned about secondary poisoning, and we definitely don't want to poison any of the local dogs or coyotes around the area. So I have scoured the internet for every non-toxic rodent control method I could find on the internet, and I bought them all. I'll just be using one glove. It is very possible that a rat ran off with the other one.
They do tend to do that. If we leave anything on the porch, they'll grab it and it'll be ripped to shreds and find its way into one of their nests somewhere. So we got a couple of options here. This is for the mice bucket trap. I know a lot of folks have suggested that we try this, so we'll be doing these with these old Lowe's buckets right here. Give those a try. And then these big dogs, a couple of them, right? That's another one? Snap traps. These are for the rats.
As for bait, we have this Jim's Birdacious Bark Butter, courteous of the lady we bought this place from. I think they'll probably find it pretty tasty.
And these are like the little escalators.
Yeah. I'm going to put one right here, because this is where one fell on my head one night when I startled it.
Really?
They climb up there and up into the ridge vent. Here. You should Photoshop that as a mouse.
So we got one peanut butter trap over here. One, what's it called?
Birdacious bark butter. Our scientific method is not scientific, but
a little flawed.
We're gonna try it anyway. I figured these ones might be more durable if they have to like sit out in rain and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Not sure how well you can see it on camera, but this is a giant pack rat midden behind us. That's what they call pack rat nests, middens. And if you could see it closely, you could tell it's just a bunch of stuff that they just kind of grab from all over the place and pile it in there. Pieces of wood, pieces of old cholla and cacti, and then they love shiny things. So actually a lot of the time, like archaeologists and anthropologists will use middens to find artifacts from hundreds and hundreds of years ago to study like human history, and then also climatologists as well to get a feel for how things were, many years ago. It's pretty interesting, but they're also disgusting. They crystallize it with their pee, and then they just take turds from all different types of animals and pile it in there. What we really need to do is build a buffer around the house and around where we park our vehicles and around the tiny house as well, something like 300 feet or so in every direction. So we basically just need to find all these middens, eliminate the resident rats, and then from there we can actually destroy the middens. But if we go and start destroying this thing and the resident rat is in there, it's just going to leave and it's going to go find somewhere else to live, probably in one of our houses or in one of our cars.
This one is especially frustrating because I'm pretty sure this is the same rat that moved from the wood pile that I had left over winter, and just as soon as we stacked up the wood, made a new home right under here. A lot of people have been telling us to get cats to help with this rodent problem. And here, outdoor cats are essentially just food for coyotes. Our neighbors have some outdoor cats, and they said that several times a year, like, they just get eaten. The other thing about outdoor cats is that they are the #1 killer of bird species in America. And I like the birds here. I think they're really cute. We got hummingbirds and blue jays and robins, and I want them to stick around. So I think we'll try this first.
We're also very, very allergic to cats too. So an indoor cat that goes outside to kill mice and rats, and
yeah,
that wouldn't work either.
Ah! Ah! Do not want to be these rats. Yeah.
I'd say this is probably the worst midden that we know about. There's just little rat condos built into these cinder blocks. The previous owner put this water tank on them. These things are disgusting. I mean, there's just rat poops in there and all kinds of nasty stuff all up in here. We really need to destroy this midden and get rid of it, move it away from the house, get these rats away from here.
We also have a mouse trap here in our temporary shed. We noticed that there was a mouse. You can see that in our returning to our off-grid life video. But ever since we put this steel wool into the only holes that I could find, we have not noticed any evidence of a mouse in there.
Yeah, and the trap is still in there set and it hasn't gone off, so maybe we got a small victory there.
Yeah, we're gonna take it for now.
So we set something like 18?
Yeah, around there.
Somewhere around there. Traps, just basically anywhere that there was evidence of like rat droppings or just close to all the middens that we know about within a certain radius here. We got to try to get as many of it as we can, you know. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it over the next couple of nights. We'll see what happens. We've got the mice traps as well, the couple of bucket traps.
Is there one in there?
Yep. There's another one there. That's about 50% kill rate there. Yeah, well, yeah, because after it smacked that one, this one also went off and got the bait eaten. Several. There's more than 3, I think.
Wow. Those things work really well.
Yeah. Oh, there's one.
Really?
Yeah, the metal trap. This one they made part of their house. They're too smart for this one. They dragged it over here into their nest.
Utter carnage this morning. Not the best way to start the day, but at the same time, it kind of just has to happen. You know, I know some folks might suggest like catch and release as an option, and we've thought about that, but then we're just making this a problem for someone else, right? We caught 13 mice last night and 4 pack rats just in one night, and it was super windy as well, so a couple of the traps flipped over in the wind before they could even be deployed. So I don't know. Every neighbor that we talk to out here talks about their struggles with pack rats and mice over the years. It's kind of like a bonding thing, a rite of passage, I guess you could say. So I guess it is what it is. We just got to keep plugging away and try to get as many of them as we can. I know a lot of folks ask why we pop the hoods at night. It's really just to keep this big open space so that the pack rats are discouraged from making nests. They feel more exposed when the hood is up like this. If they make a nest on top of the engine, a predator could come in, you know, a bird or something like that, and get them. if it's closed, they feel a lot safer. But they still get in here, though. If you look back here, you can see that they've chewed through some of the insulation underneath the hood of the truck. They've gotten into the element as well over there, into the headliner. They've had some babies in the cabin air filter before last year, so it's not great. Over the past year, we've definitely tried every preventative measure that we could. We were using like electronic rodent repellents that flash and make all these noises inside the cars and all over the place. We also used a lot of like mint essential oils and sprays to try to deter them, and we still do that to this day. But last night, I guess, was the first time that we've taken the drastic steps of actually kind of declaring war on this issue. Some of you guys might remember when I bought the first truck camper last fall. In hindsight, it really wasn't the best decision. The thing was kind of falling apart, but it was very impulsive, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say that a big reason why I did that was because this rodent issue, the mice and the pack rats, it was just causing me extreme anxiety out here. Just worried about them getting into the truck and destroying the wiring and costing thousands of dollars in damage to the element and so on. It just, it was a lot. And I felt like it was out of my control. Probably because I wasn't willing to take that next step and really just start using the traps and stuff and taking care of them. It feels good to be making a little bit of progress, it seems like. I know that this issue is going to be ongoing. It's going to be something that we're going to be dealing with and probably having a lot of mornings like this over the next so many weeks. Morning 3 of Rat Palooza, or whatever you want to call this. Things have slowed down a little bit. That first morning was brutal, but there's definitely been fewer of them the second 2 mornings. The ravens, though, and the crows around here are definitely getting well fed. I'm sure they're happy at this point. A verdict in terms of the traps and how they work. These traditional wood ones are definitely the most efficient, and they work with both small mice and pack rats as well. These metal traps, on the other hand, don't really work at all. The mice can actually take the bait out of them, and they're so light that these traps won't even go off when a mouse touches it. And then even the smaller pack rats as well. And then they have gotten a couple of bigger pack rats. We got a couple big ones with the metal traps, but generally speaking, they're not very efficient. They do not work as well as these wood ones. What I've noticed is the pack rats, they love shiny things, and they've actually taken these in multiple instances. There's like these sharp teeth around them, right? And they'll take it and they'll pull it into their nest and like make it part of their nest and add it to like their little fort that they're building. So if anything, these are like kind of helping the pack rats. Would not recommend the metal ones. The wood ones are great, and then the bucket trap as well is working pretty much only for mice. I have not caught any rats in there yet. I think they're too big to get up there, but we'll see. If I had to rank them, number 1 is the traditional wood traps. Number 2 is the bucket trap like that. And then these guys don't even make the list. Alright, here's the fun part. Now we get to start dismantling and tearing apart some of these middens. The thing is, not only pack rats live in pack rat middens. Most of the time they have a bunch of mice, all sorts of different parasites and pests. And the one that I'm most worried about is rattlesnakes. A lot of the time they spend the winter holed up inside these middens. They share the space with them, and then come summer when it gets hotter, they'll come out and start eating them. I'm hoping I don't find any or disturb any sleeping rattlesnakes right now. It's pretty incredible that one rat can do all that. This is a lot of junk. So I got 2 middens this morning. Not too bad. Looks like we got some weather coming in though, so I gotta wrap this up pretty quick. Things are definitely slowing down a little bit. Last 2 nights I haven't gotten anything in any of the traps, so has been a steady decline in activity every morning, so that's been good. I don't know if the rodents are just getting a little bit smarter. Maybe they're realizing to avoid the traps, or maybe we are actually making a dent in the population. It's probably some combination of those two. I will say, I don't think we've really mentioned this yet in this video, but the existence of these rodents and their ability to breed as quickly as they do and to live in this area in the population density that they were living before we started this rodent war, it's definitely impacted by our existence. In the things that we build on the property, the house for example, underneath the water tanks, all over the place. A lot of the structures that we build, they turn into homes for themselves, and predators are not going to come near those structures because that's where we're close to. So we don't really ever see coyotes like walking up to our front door, and the rodents know that. So they get as close to us as they can while they're still safe. If we were not out here, if this was just empty land, there would be a lot less rodents running around because there would be more predators and there would be less places for them to hide. I think this pretty much sums it up for this one. Feels good to be making some level of progress with this situation, but like I said before, it is something that's going to require constant maintenance. I think we'll probably tone it down a little bit, maybe set traps up 1 or 2 nights out of the week instead of every night, but like I said, I guess it feels good to at least be doing something. You know, it's been definitely a learning experience and a couple of tough mornings for sure, but here we are. It's just part of living out here in the high desert. Can't thank y'all enough for watching and for following along on this journey. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Be sure to check out the new Element Life membership site linked below. Becoming a member grants you access to many benefits, including an interactive map of my favorite free camping and stealth camping spots from across the country, a growing recipe archive for quick, delicious, and easy meals, bonus videos each month, special discounts, and much more. Thanks again for watching.